What's up guys, shinyhunterzach here, back with another PTCGO matchup. This one is going to be against Alex1100. I am playing my Speed Darkrai Hammers deck, which is basically a Speed Darkrai deck with 3 Crushing Hammer and 2 Enhanced Hammer teched in. He is going to be playing a Psychic deck with a couple Terrakion from Noble Victories teched in. So I am going to start with a single Darkrai EX, and he's going to start with a shiny Terrakion from Boundaries Crossed. So if he gets that thing set up, then I might be in some trouble because I am playing, of course, 4 Darkrai. So he is going to get to go first. He's going to Ultra Ball away a Bianca and an Espeon. I had no idea that he was playing any sort of Psychic Pokemon, but there goes an Espeon, so he must be running something with Psychic. And he is going Ultra Ball, of course, for a second Terrakion, so he can start taking on my Darkrai's. He's going to N away a couple Catchers, an Enhanced Hammer, and some other stuff. He's going to give me an okay hand, actually. He's going to give me a Sableye, a Juniper, an Energy, a Computer Search, and a Crushing Hammer. I actually get the Computer Search off of the top deck. I go for the Crushing Hammer and miss, so that's a bit unfortunate, but I can always get it back with Sableye. I decide to attach the Dark Energy to my active Darkrai, just so it can retreat if I want it to. And then I decide to Juniper away the Skyla and the Dark Patch and the Computer Search, because I can get those last two back with Sableye. And I run 4 Skyla, so Skyla's not going to be too big a problem if I put one in the discard pile. So I get a Sableye and Darkrai off of the Juniper, so I put those down, get another Energy, which will be helpful. Decide to Catcher up the Terrakion without Energy on it, just because, again, I can get it back. And hopefully this way he can't use Retaliate unless he has Switch. So I'll turn it over to my opponent here. He's going to Computer Search for that Switch. And something funny is going to happen here with the card that he gets back, the Switch. If you look at his hand, it's going to be just a black shadow. It's not going to be the actual back of a Pokemon card. But he decides to discard a Psychic Energy, another clue that he's running a pretty big Psychic deck, and a Pokemon Communication, which I don't see him use all game. But there's the Switch. He goes back into his Terrakion with Energy, and he's going to end me once again. He gives me another Dark Patch, an N, a Juniper, an Energy, Switch, a Random Receiver, and an Energy, thankfully. So I'm going to give the Dark Claw to my Darkrai EX, attach an Energy to it, and then I'm just going to decide to actually give it to Sableye, because I do want to get some of the stuff that's in the discard pile back. I do have a lot of items in there already, and I can Energy Switch the one Energy from the injured Darkrai to the one that's not injured, and then I decide to Juniper once again. I unfortunately have to get a couple supporters, but I get a Crushing Hammer, and I miss. So that's 0 for 2 on that front, but of course I can get them back, and I believe I decided to get both of the Crushing Hammers that I've used back with this Junk Hunt. As you can see, I have quite a lot of items that I could get back, but the Crushing Hammers are pretty vital. An Enhanced Hammer would be nice, because he's attached a Blend Energy to his active Terrakion. As you can see there, he has a Mewtwo and Cresselia EX on the bench. So if he gets the Mewtwo especially set up, that could be a problem. He catches out the injured Darkrai and puts it 1 Retaliate away from being knocked out. I get an Eviolite, and of course I have the 2 Crushing Hammers. I finally hit one and decide to get rid of his Prism. That's a Prism, not a Blend, pardon me. And get rid of that, so he has to have a Fighting or a Prism to be able to attack next turn. I go for the second one, and it misses, so I'm 1 for 3 there. I have a couple Energy, and I decide to attach it to the active Darkrai so I can get out of there. I don't have an Energy Switch or anything, but I decide to go for a Skyla this turn because I'm not looking for any bulk amount of cards, and that's what I would get with Bianca and N. So I decide to go for the Skyla and get out an Energy Switch, I believe. If I'd gone for the N, that also would have been bad because his hand is currently 2 cards, and I don't want to give him a fresh hand of 6. So I decided to just go for the Skyla, grab an Energy Switch, and once again get the energy off of the injured Darkrai and put it onto the uninjured one on my bench, because I'm trying to get that one set up. So with that, I'm going to think about ending my turn here, but instead I go for the Junk Hunt. I'm going to get the Crushing Hammer back. I think I'll get both of them back so I can start knocking energy off of his Pokemon, because that is going to be vital for me winning if I don't let these Terrakion especially get set up. So with that, I turn it over to my opponent, who just has 3 cards in their hand, and they are going to Charon. One of them is unfortunately a supporter. He might have top decked that. He gets a Meloetta off of the Sharon, and he decides to just end his turn. So apparently he didn't have an energy. I'm going to go ahead and Eviolite the Sableye, which is going to be a pretty important move later in the game. I'm going to again go for my 2 Crushing Hammers, and I miss one, and then I hit one. So I was 1 for 4, I believe, but then I finished up 2 and 4 there. I knock off the energy off of the active Terrakion and put a Dark Energy onto my bench Darkrai so that it's fully set up. I can retreat out into Darkrai, and since he placed that Meloetta, it is going to have a low enough HP to where I can knock it out. So I'm going to end up retreating out to the setup Darkrai, catching out his Meloetta, and going for the Bianca so I can get 4 cards. Again, I don't want to end because I don't want to give him a fresh hand of 6, although I could have, because this is probably the last time an end is going to benefit me because I'm about to take the first prize of the match. So I was trying to decide what order to do everything in, but it didn't really matter. So there I go with the retreat, and now I'm going to catch her out the Meloetta, and since I have Dark Claw, that'll do even more. The Dark Claw actually helps me out quite a bit as well. I go for the Bianca there, get a Tool Scrapper, Energy Switch, another Sableye, a Dark Patch, and a Dark Energy. I think I may have had the Dark Patch already. But I'm going to put the 30 on the Terrakion with Energy because with the Dark Claw on my Darkrai, I can take it out in 1 hit next turn if he stays in and nothing happens. So I get a Dark Energy off of my prize. He sets down a Ralts and then ends his turn. That's a little surprising. I didn't realize he was playing Gardevoir with the Psychic Mirage ability that says every Psychic Energy counts as 2 pretty much. So I give a Dark Energy for my turn to Sableye, the one that doesn't have any energy on it, and I just decide to take out the Terrakion and put it on the Ralts. That is an okay move. I could have done it to the Terrakion. In fact, I was deciding there, but I put it on the Ralts and said, you know, unless he has the rare candy into Gardevoir, or unless he has a Curlia, then I'm going to be able to take it out next turn. But I get my prize and then turn it over, and what do you know, he has the rare candy into Gardevoir. He's going to end me there. That's a nice full art end. That's a good play on his part because I only get 4 cards now, but he gives me some okay cards. I actually get another Darkrai, and I get a Pokemon Catcher, which are both very, very important. The Tool Scrapper is now going to become prevalent because he just put an Eviolite onto his shiny Terrakion, and he puts down another Ralts to end his turn. So I get a Sableye off of the draw. I'm going to go ahead and catcher out the Ralts, which was a bit of a misplay. I probably should have catchered out the Gardevoir to take it out then and there. But I get rid of the Eviolite with my Tool Scrapper. I then stay in with my active Darkrai just because I'm going to take out this Ralts, put the Sableye down to fill up my bench, and then put 30 onto, I believe, Terrakion, because like I said before, with the Dark Claw, it will be one-shot by a Night Spear. So with that, he's going to send up, I believe, his Mewtwo EX, and I'm going to take my 3rd prize of the match. So this match is going well for me when I at first thought it would not be going well if he got the Terrakion set up, but the hammers really helped, and speaking of the hammers, I get a Crushing Hammer off of my prize. So because of Gothitelle, or I've said that twice now, because of Gardevoir, he can X-Ball me and do some pretty massive damage to Darkrai, all things considered. So I'm going to go ahead and Sableye, figuring that I'm going to need hammers again, and maybe a Pokemon Catcher, so I can catcher out something like Gardevoir or Terrakion. And of course, the first thing I go for is that catcher, and then I think about what else I could get, and I believe I just decide on a hammer. So with that, I'm going to be able to, I think, live an X-Ball because of the Eviolite, and I'm looking in an okay spot. If I can hit the heads on the Crushing Hammer, then the Mewtwo won't have any more energy on it, and I can go back into my Darkrai that's set up and take out either Terrakion or Gardevoir. So he's thinking about what to do here. He's going to end up catching out my Sableye without any damage on it and without any energy on it, and he's just going to hit me for 40. I'm going to try to Crushing Hammer, and it does work, so he doesn't have any energy on him anymore. I drew a Skyla on my top deck, and I believe I'm going to just wait and catch her out Gardevoir, because that is a pretty big threat. And I'm going to Skyla here for some sort of energy switch, or I think an energy switch, so I can get my active Sableye out of there. And I will. So there it goes into my hand. I'm going to probably take it from one of my other Sableyes that's on the bench. I get my active Sableye out of there, go back into Darkrai, and take out this Gardevoir. And now I'm going to be able to put 30 on the Mew EX, which even without a Dark Claw would put it in range to be knocked out. So all I need to do is take out that Mew to win the game, because I've taken 4 prizes, and he is probably thinking that as well. He puts down an Eevee, which justifies the Espeon he Ultra Balled away in the first couple turns. He's going to Level Ball for another Ralts, I believe. He's going to put a Psychic Energy onto his Mewtwo and turn it over to me because he can't attack, because I knocked out his Gardevoir. So I'm going to give the energy to one of my benched Pokemon. The active, of course, does not need it. And I give it to the Darkrai without any damage on it. I go for a random receiver. Unfortunately, get an N. Would have liked something like a Juniper or a Bianca, but that's okay. And I believe I'm just going to retreat out to one of my Sableyes here and sort of sacrifice it. I bring out the one with damage already on it and Junk Hunt for a catcher and a computer search, I believe, because I think my justification for that is I can easily discard the N and the Ultra Ball. They're not important to me at all anymore, and I can get some whatever card I need out of my deck pretty much. So I'm just clarifying that I don't need anything else besides computer search. I get that and the catcher, and then turn it over to my opponent, who I believe just attaches to his Mewtwo and knocks out the active Sableye to take their only prize of the game. So they're thinking here, and they're going to actually rare candy into another Gardevoir, so they don't even need to attach another energy. And they take out my Sableye, but that's okay, because I'm going to return the favor here in a second by taking out their Mew. So they take their only prize of the game. I am going to Dark Patch and get a Dark Energy back, put it onto a Sableye, and then attach. I could have attached for turn, but I didn't. And I'm going to catch out the Mew EX, and that'll be the game. I take it out and put 30 onto some random Pokemon. I decide upon the Eevee, but I'm going to get an Ultra Ball and a Dark Energy off of the prizes, and that's going to be the match. So thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Like and favorite the video, and leave a comment below. Go check out my main channel, shinyhunterzach, my Pokemon community channel, PokeCapital, and my LP channel, CircleCat Get Zach. Good game, Alex1100. If you have a YouTube channel, I'll try and link you in the description below. But until next time, I will see you guys later.